Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a special and hopefully a series episode, correct? We're calling it Beyond the
Smiles.
Beyond the Smiles. So we're moving away from what we see on the photo to what we feel about the change and what it's done for us, which is actually the bit that I've always been interested in. I'll tell you a fascination for me has always been, so I've watched patients at annual maintenance over the years. And because I only see them like once a year, I see the change in a year. So, you know, when I've seen a patient like 10 years or 50, you know, Claudia, who works here, Claudia works here now. I remember the day she first came to see me 11 years ago. She wouldn't even make eye contact with me. She came with her husband, she had her head down, and it was just crying nonstop. And I'm like, woman, what are you crying about? I don't know anything. I need to see stuff. And that was her 11 years ago. 11 years later, I get the privilege of working with her. And how many times a day and how many excuses does this woman actually need to grab me for a hug? Okay. So I just go, right, okay. Claudia's in the building. Need to prep the shoulders. Gonna get hugged a lot.
Actually, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Mike.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Mike and Michelle are joining us. My apologies.
And I want it because
Hello.
for me,
Hi.
Hi, Michelle. For me personally, 2 years ago, I was in the darkest spot of my life
Right.
where I didn't want to be here anymore. So,
Right.
and a song came on the radio
Right.
called "I'm Not Okay." And
Right.
that, for me personally, started the journey that led me to 21D. But I wanted to prepare myself mentally.
Yeah.
But along the 2 years, I went along the denture route, which I knew straight away was a mistake.
Right.
But I also knew I had to prepare myself mentally before, because it is a big surgery.
Of course. Okay.
So I think you have to, I don't know how Michelle felt.
Well, exactly.
What did she
How
have
did
to
you
say?
feel, Michelle?
Or whether,
It was something that I'd always coped with from a child. I'd always coped with my teeth myself. It was something that nobody ever spoke about. And it was something that nobody ever encouraged me to fix or talk about or anything like that. So I just coped with it.
Sorry to
So
interrupt,
even
but
though
you
I'm
say
quite
something
strong-
interesting. Sorry, can I just ask you a question just on that point?
Yeah.
At what age in your childhood did you become aware of...
whilst at school for sure.
Okay.
Because of my dual confirmation.
Okay. And how did that make you feel?
Just really ugly and not one of the popular people. And even though I'm quite a confident person and I've got like a ton of personality, it kind of just made me sit back in the background a bit more. Whereas really my personality made me want to push more forward. I never really did. So I just always learned to cope with it.
But how much
but
energy...
now
Sorry, how much energy did you put into coping with it every day when you look back
loads
now?
of energy. So I'm quite happy to meet new people. I've always been happy to meet new people. I've had various jobs, like customer facing jobs. And now I'm like a dog trainer. So I meet loads of new people. But whenever I get a new client and I've had to go to their house, it would always be, are they going to notice my teeth? And I didn't want to make a big thing about hiding or holding my hand up or doing anything that would draw attention to my face. But it was always at the back of my mind, have they noticed my teeth? And since saying that I was going to do this, it's about 50-50 about people that I know. About 50-50 about people that I know that did notice my teeth and that didn't. So it's been a really interesting process.
I just want to ask you something. The people that you know that now you're on this side, have they noticed a difference in your projection, shall we say?
Yes, they have. and sometimes I hear them talking, and they think I can't hear, and they'll say like, "Oh, it's so lovely to see her smile." I think I was quite I wasn't moody before, although like I can be a bit grumpy, but I feel that like trying to keep my face in a very neutral position all the time did make me appear a lot more kind of grumpy than I actually am.
Yeah, but
So like
people
when I'm
didn't
talking now, I can be
understand.
expressive,
Yeah, but people
whereas
didn't
before I would
understand.
try not to be so expressive.
But people didn't understand why you were forcing your muscles to be in that position. They just came to the assumption that you might
Yeah,
be
definitely.
a bit grumpy.
We're just like a little bit neutral.
Yeah. Did you experience that?
And I would be
Well,
obviously
mine was
like
slightly
say if I
different
was
'cause-
passionate about something or I had an argument with somebody, then
Yeah.
I would be more expressive, but I would very rarely get myself into that situation. I would very rarely let myself go. So I'd always have to have a lot of self-control.
Right.
Mine
Okay.
was different because mine was as a result of a road traffic accident. Because before that, I was a photographer and I thought I had okay teeth. But then after the accident, and a lot of them fell out and crumbled, obviously.
And did
They
you?
weren't-
Yeah, but did you feel like your personality went with it?
Yeah, because I started not smiling, not having a laugh and a joke with my friends. And I was just hiding away
Yeah, but
and
this
covering my mouth up. And
this is first-hand experience that I'm
Yeah.
talking about, that I've heard from patients, is people have said to me that they know that they judge themselves more
yeah,
than anybody else
yeah.
does. They know that they're doing it. So I used to ask this really daft question: why are you doing it?
I think it's the stigma. Well, you never looked after your teeth. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. And that's what it always has been.
Yeah, but the science
they-
says the number one cause of problems over the age of 50 is degenerative and genetic. That's the number one cause. It's not whether you knew which end of a toothbrush goes in your mouth. Just like the science says, you're more likely to have a hip replacement in your 50s and 60s than in your 20s and 30s because of genetics, because our bits aren't programmed to last as long as us. And for some people, it's these bits, and for other people, it's those bits. And this bit is that, but that social stigma that somehow you don't care about how you present to the world, and that's why you've let it. This is the bit that I hate, because I just know it's not true of any patient I've ever treated. And I've treated tens of thousands of people, and it's never been true of any of them.
But that leads to depression. And, I mean, like after my traffic accident, I became addicted to alcohol. I became addicted to painkillers. I didn't care about myself, stopped looking after myself. So I automatically went, well, yeah, that's right. That's why I'm in this state.
You're earlier in the process than Michelle.
Yeah, I have my 20 days.
So you're 20 days in post-surgery, and you already notice a change in you?
Yeah, or even my mates have turned around and said, it's almost like having the old mic back.
So I used to have this phrase, right, when I worked at Evo. The only way I could describe it was, be you again.
Yeah. See, I know I'm never going to be me again, but I'm a different version of me. I'm Mike 2.0.
You're a happier version.
I'm a happier version. Like, I wouldn't have dreamed of sitting here and talk to people.
Yeah.
When I didn't have the...
I would have
Which is
never
really
have gone on a front-facing video on YouTube. Not in a million zillion years. Never.
Well, it's amazing you say that, because you look incredibly natural, if I may say so.
Thank you.
You absolutely look like you belong totally all over YouTube right now. I'm not just saying that, it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
I remember one time we had been at Crufts and we'd been on the Welsh team, and we had won the World Cup, and it was a BBC that videoed Crufts then, and they wanted to like do a team interview, and I was just terrified of actually speaking, and I wanted to speak but I couldn't. I was just like, there's no way that I'm going to let my teeth go on the BBC. Like, there is just no way. And it was really sad. It was really sad for me to not be able to enjoy the moment. But I just let the others speak and like try to do a little cheer without my teeth showing. And that was really, really sad.
Yeah, for us, okay, we get into the technical bits of the surgical guides and the LTPs. Yeah, but the real thing is, we just know that the people we treat can't stay where they are emotionally. It is almost like an emotional liberation. I was speaking to Christine a few weeks back. And she talked to me about something that I couldn't articulate as well as she did, which is, and I don't know whether you've experienced this, but Christine said that, after she'd been signed off and everything had sort of gotten a bit back to normal, she sort of had this crash.
Yeah, dip.
Oh,
The
yeah,
dip.
absolutely.
Oh, so tell us about that. You're not there yet.
No,
but,
I'm not there yet.
So, yeah, tell us about that.
So I'm exactly 10 weeks today.
Right.
And as you know, like I'm an oversharer, I post a lot.
I love
it's
it,
like,
by the way. Don't
just
stop.
How many photos can I post of myself? But it's almost like I'm
Not enough, as far
not
as I'm
craving the
concerned.
attention a little bit, but I'm missing it. I'm missing the buzz from the healing. I literally think if I could do it again, I would do it again.
This is insane. I keep hearing this. I keep reading this. Right. We did surgery,
it was an
right?
amazing
I'm not
experience.
sure
It
I
was
wanna
really,
go
really
through that
good.
again.
Yeah, but it's planned mutilation. That's what surgery actually is. That's the definition of surgery. And I keep reading these posts where people go, I'd go through it again in a heartbeat. And I'm like, would you? Really?
I absolutely would.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't, but you couldn't fix me legs, but you at least fix me teeth.
You should never ever say to a man like me, you couldn't fix me legs, okay? You don't understand what goes on in this brain of mine, okay? Because I'll be driving home tonight going, legs? Yeah, just never. He knows. They all know the insanity that goes on. Just don't ever say that kind of stuff to me, okay? Because you have no idea. I had
To be
this.
honest, I have got stage 4 arthritis and I still play golf, and my surgeon's surprised that I still work. But I'm defying them all of that every day.
Okay. I'm just telling you, just never say things like this to me at all, okay? Because I'm a lunatic when it comes to dreaming up stuff. Like I had this.
So you're going to really create a $6 million man?
Yeah, but imagine a scenario where I do a hip replacement or a knee replacement for somebody, and they can run quicker than they did when they were 25. Do you know what the scary part is? The technology to do this exists today. Nobody's just put it together in the way that goes on in my head. That's how weird I am. Okay, I've got nothing better to do with my life. I keep telling people this, right? So when I stared at your case, Michelle, I went, first thing I thought in my head, I just went, yeah, I can sort that. And Isabella was with me at the time, and she went, how? And I just drew it. And I just went like this, like that, like this, like that, like that. And she looked at me and she goes, yeah, I can see it now.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite funny,
I'll
actually.
always be so
'cause
grateful
mine
to
went
you
to
both.
plan on it.
No. Listen, for me, it's like, why did this person reach out to us in the first place? Is the clinical need there? Is there an option to say we can kick this can down the road, or it's more risky to do it than not do it? All these boxes have to be ticked, for me in my own head. And when the answer is, yeah, we need to sort them out, definitely, because there is a quality of life attached for the future to what we're going to do now. And if we don't do it now, everything's working against us because everybody's getting older.
Yeah.
So you can't wait for the health to deteriorate to the point where the health will not allow you to do this. So you need to do it while the health parameters are still intact. And we know that it's intact right now. So let's do it right now.
Well, yeah, mine went to plan, and yourself and Isabella came up with the solutions.
We call it a solution and not a treatment because it doesn't end with the treatment.
Yeah.
The solution is about treatment and long-term aftercare. With this implant, I thee wed. That's just how the dynamics of this work, right? We know that this is easily in the top 5 most predictable surgeries on the planet if executed exactly to plan. We know that. That's documented. And we also know that the most important part of this, weirdly, isn't the... Don't get me wrong. The surgeons are all going to get, upset when I say this, but the execution piece is nowhere near as important as the planning piece. So, for example, with you, Michelle, when I was planning you, I was going to give you a smile that you never had. And in my, that one, right? And in my head, I'm going, okay, this adaptation is going to be really, really interesting, because I'm going to have to give you something that you never anatomically had, and then see how your brain responds. Because you'll like it, but your brain works like my software works, which is, yeah, this isn't meant to be here kind of thing. Let me try and, first, let me try and shift it. If I can't shift it, let me try and digest it by salivating more. And if I can't do that, let me see how it goes for a few weeks. Oh, I'm used to it now. Okay, just leave it alone and move on. That's what I was fascinated.
I think that initial bit lasted about an hour. But when I came out of surgery, I was just like, I just couldn't stop drooling. Isabella had to repeat some of the injections at the end, just when it was getting near the 3-hour mark.
Yeah.
And I think if I hadn't had them, I'd been okay.
Yeah.
But I was not prepared for the drool. But by the time I got back to the hotel and I just sort of composed myself, like I think no more than 2 hours, I was just like, right, let's go. This is great.
If only everyone was
So
like you.
Are you surprised with such a good healing?
But like I really
considering
wanted
what she
it.
had
You
to
know,
do,
I
what she
wanted
had
the
to
good
do?
teeth. I wanted like to feel happy with my face and happy with my eating and happy with my talking. So I wanted it to be a complete success. I couldn't be messing around with bad recoveries. I've got things to do.
Yeah, but then you see, that is the game changer. That attitude that you have, which is I want to adapt, as opposed to I expect to adapt. I think people underestimate that. I need this from all the patients. I need them to want to adapt, not expect to adapt.
Yeah, like when I went to Bristol for my assessment, which was probably one of the most traumatic things I've ever done. I think he didn't think we were going to be able to do it. So I think he was trying to like soften the blow a little bit and was saying like, oh, you're going to take years to get your speech. It's going to be really long. Isabella, when she phoned me, said kind of similar that it would take a while. So it wasn't that I didn't believe of them. It was like, no, that isn't an option. Like I'm a really hard worker and I will do it until I can do it. It's as simple as that.
But you see, what was fascinating to me was you put that post up on the group where you showed your journey from the beginning, right? And I said at planning, I said, the only variable left now, so I know clinically this is going to work, okay? The variable is Michelle's will. That is the unknown for me. What is Michelle's will to work on the I am going to accept this as the new me? What is that? That was the variable for me. And that's why I don't know. So when people ask me, how long is it going to take to adapt? I don't know you all.
I think I'm doing okay
exactly.
on 20
I mean,
days.
And to be fair to Bristol, I was in a complete state when I was in the assessment, and I was going, no, this isn't me. This isn't me. I'm not scared. I want to do it. I'm not scared. You're not going to get this at the surgery. I'm not going to be like this. I'm going to be like really positive. I'm not sure they believe me. I thought they just thought I was like a vulnerable mess. But literally, I wanted it so much. Even when I was lying in the chair and they were having some trouble pulling them out, I was just like willing my teeth to let go. I was like, just let go. Go, off you go. Bye-bye.
Wow.
It's just like, leave me. I don't want you. And
So-
when
so
people
how
are
long
like
did you
over all
take
the
to-
Facebook,
sorry.
when they say about but these teeth will never be as good as your old teeth, I just don't believe them. I'm like, no, these are way better. These are so much better than my other teeth. Like, I just can't believe
I will answer the clinical side of that point in a minute after you say what you need to say.
Michelle, I wanted to know, how long did you take to prepare yourself? Because like for me, it was a 2-year journey to get to where I had the courage to come, and I felt I was good enough in myself, in my mind, to get it done. So I'm just wondering how you went about it.
Oh, like I'm really annoying. I'm really impulsive. I'm really annoying. So from my whole life of ignoring my teeth, like completely ignoring them and like thinking it wasn't for me, like, but I didn't have the time to go to the, to seek out a solution. I didn't really feel I was worth like to go and sort it out. I didn't really have the time in my life. One day I'm just on Facebook and 21D popped up. So that must have been at the start of November. And I didn't really look at it much, but it kept popping back up. I was like, oh, okay, what is this? And I looked at it a little bit, a couple of days, and I was like, actually, that sounds really good. Like, I feel that this solution would be great for me if they'll do it. It suited my lifestyle. It suited that I could commit to the time that it took, even if it took longer than it did. I still could commit to that. I don't really want to be committing like to a massive long thing. I prefer not to bother. So that was at the start of November. I had my assessment on the 16th of November. And one of the questions from the assessment was like, oh, how long have you been thinking about it? And I was like, oh, about 2 weeks. And I think that really shocked them.
Yeah, that's not what we usually hear.
Yeah.
We hear about 2 years.
No, but I'm really not. I'm not
2
usual.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
not.
along the way,
usual.
because of the cost, went along the cheaper route, which was dentures.
Okay, listen. Yeah, but you're not comparing apples and apples, mate.
No, but after as soon as I had the dentures, I knew I'd made the biggest
but you
mistake.
see-
And then a couple of days after that, 21D popped back up again.
Yeah, but you
And I was
see,
thinking-
it wasn't on you to work that out.
Yeah,
Your clinical professional should have gone, I'm going to give you some dentures, right? And I want you to think about it this way. This is a set of crutches, and this is a hip replacement.
No.
You understand? If they given you some context on it,
Yeah.
and then you value it as the investment that it is, right? And then at least you've got something to think about. And then it's only when the value exceeds the cost that you actually think about having stuff like this done. But would you really do something for 17 grand?
Well, I was
if it
thinking
was
of
as
doing a
crap
world
as the
cruise for
dentures?
20 grand, and I wouldn't have smiled on it.
Yeah, but but it's for each patient to decide their value
Yeah.
of this to them. It's not for us to convince you. We're not going to convince you. We're just going to do the boring stuff like clinically, you need this. So, this thing about it's not as good. Well, it depends. So if I take the clinical markers of my patients and I look at, for example, the extent of periodontal disease, I can say something to both of you confidently. You have the periodontal health of a 4-year-old child right now. And you have no idea how healthy that actually is for the rest of your body.
Maybe I should have jumped in the puddles with my grandson the other day.
Yeah, but the big one for me is I've been doing this primarily because I've noted the health markers in all my patients improve dramatically. They look better. That's a definite. But that's even beyond that. Their general health is better.
Well, I'm a diabetic as well, so I had to get my...
We had to check your HbA1c.
And I got it down to 48.
Okay, but in 20 days, have you noticed a difference in your own energy?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, I'm walking to keep my levels down. I'm walking 3 miles a day, which before I would never do.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, it is, as he said, beyond the smart. We don't, okay, how can I put this in a nice way? I'm happy for your aesthetics, but it's not the reason I do this job. It's not the reason any of us as clinicians do this job. You want it to look pretty. I want you to live a long and healthy life first. I want to know that there isn't periodontal disease entering your bloodstream, going to your heart, going to your brain, doing all kinds of horrible things that you can't see, but I promise you they're all happening because it's all clinically documented. I want to produce a foundation that is far more robust than the one I'm removing, so we never, ever, ever do this again. No matter how many times people write on that group, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I don't ever want to see you lot in my chair again. You understand? It's nothing personal.
Again, person.
Yeah, but it's that side of it. Why? Because corrective surgery when executed correctly with certain treatment modalities like full jaw, very specifically like full jaw and full mouth implants, if planned correctively, I want a bloody good reason as to why we ever have to do it again. I've had 2 patients in 27 years that lost all of their implants, and it had nothing to do with their implants. Their general health went like that. One had cancer and had to have radiotherapy from head to toe. It literally killed everything, right, including the jawbones. If the jawbones are not alive, the implants are going to go. The other one couldn't deal with the grief of losing her mum, and she just drank 2 bottles of vodka every day, went into liver failure, and that was the end of that.
Well,
yeah, but
I can relate to that because
okay,
I don't reach for the bottle anymore. But I was, after my mum died, I reached for the bottle.
and
that's
we understand that. Our patients are over the age of 50 as standard, 52, 53 around there seems to be the average age. And we also know that our patients have, they're into the phase that general medicine recognizes as the degenerative phase of life. What we are controlling is the rate of that degeneration. If that degeneration is just only age-related and gradual, and we can control as many of the other disease processes, like improve your diabetes, we know something. You'll have a better quality of life. Your digestion will be better. Your blood sugars will be better. Your blood pressure will be better. You'll just be able to take care of you. Yeah. And that's the reason. A happier Michelle is definitely going to do better than a self-conscious Michelle. That's just a fact. These are not things you need to measure.
No, I mean, I'm quite healthy in general, but I suffer terrible from sore throats for years and years and years. Like if ever I would just get like a chronic sore throat, and that is completely cleared up now.
You know why? I can even tell you why.
Because I haven't got so much bacteria in my mouth.
Correct. Exactly right. And they're all going one way, that way. And
yeah, exactly.
You know, you with your
sinuses. Yeah.
Gone like this. And to me, people, you know that song, the hip bone's connected to the thigh bone and the thigh bone's, well, your gob's connected to the rest of you and happens to be the gateway to the rest of your body.
Yeah.
And it has to be at a certain state. And it is not, do we want to correct or do we want to prevent? And if we're going to have to correct, can we correct it in a way that it just prevents nonsense in the future? Yes, we actually can do that. But we all have to be on the same page. For example, the one topic that keeps coming up, oh, me gap. What I call the engineered cleansing space, which is actually a piece of science, because you've all got gaps between your natural teeth.
Somebody put one up the other day and somebody turned around and said, oh, you can see a gap, the failing. But it's not. We all know it's a cleansing gap.
It's there to help it's there to give your body every advantage possible to maintain itself. People focus on am I cleaning them properly? You know, the cleaning is happening for the 23 hours and 56 minutes. You're not shoving the toothbrush in your mouth. It's not the toothbrush. The toothbrush is a psychological piece of you feeling like, right, well, I've still got teeth. You haven't. You've got prosthetics, pieces of engineering. That's what you've got. But now your saliva can now do a job that it couldn't do before. So for you, Michelle, I remember looking at your case, there's no way you can clean teeth that are overlapped like this with the best will in the world.
There was no way, and that was part of the problem. And I would just try to clean them more and more. And then I was just like wearing away, making them worse by trying to clean them. So,
see, again,
and you can't even see the gap. Look, can't even see that.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to share something with all of you that maybe I shouldn't, but I will. So in my stupid youth, right, I decided, because I was a bit bored, I decided to go and learn how to do Botox, right? It's like one of the stupidest things I've ever done in my life, okay? Because I just put this sign up in one of my clinics that was about that big, and it just said, I now do Botox. And my entire appointment book over the next 2 weeks was people turning up for Botox. I stopped doing my actual job because everyone was coming in for Botox. And then this was the best one, right? So I thought, oh, this is great. You know, loads of people want it, need it. It's not going to kill anyone. It's totally reversible. It'll all be fine. It's making them happy. Great. Let me do this, right? The insanity kicked in at 3 months. So at 3 months, people, after I'd done Botox, which would definitely last between 4 and 6 months, they'd come back to me and they'd do this. They'd go, Vijay, look, it's moving. I said, take your finger away. I said, look, it's not moving. It moves when I do this. I said, because I haven't Botoxed your finger. It's the same when I hear about the gap. I can see the gap when I peel my face back. Stop peeling your bloody face back would be what I'd say. You know what I mean? It's that.
It's quite good. I quite like using the water flosser to clean it. It feels nice, like when it's all clean. It's a good thing.
If it was up to me, and again, I don't want anyone writing in about this because last time people wrote in about this. If I was West Streeting, it would be mandatory in this country, that you have to start using a water flosser at the age of 18. Otherwise, I'm going to fine you. You know, like dog poop or you know, parking tickets. Yeah. Like I'm going to fine you lot for not using it.
You never get bored of doing this job, video. You can always become Prime Minister.
Oh God, don't. This is the kind of rubbish that people listen to and start writing in. Don't you start. Don't.
It's got to be better than what we've got at the moment, doesn't it?
Could it be worse? But that's a different topic. I'm
not going to say anything.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
I'm not going to say anything about
I bought a water flosser before my operation, so I could get used to using it, which was helpful.
If this kind of preventive regime was in place, in my view, what would happen if everybody was dished out an electronic or an ultrasonic toothbrush and a water flosser at the age of 18, at least get it into their heads that this is how it all feels. This is the massive improvement. So you can actually go and see the dentist and they'll go, there's nothing wrong, bugger off, which are the best words you're ever going to hear, right? If they did that, what would probably happen is I'd have half my workload. So instead of having 7.5 million people to potentially help in the United Kingdom, it would be 3.5 million people. It's still 3.5 million people. So I'd actually be glad that the other 3.5 million dodged a bullet. Because in my view, I don't want to do it if I feel like this could have been avoided. And unfortunately, that's the bit I see too much. So even though I can give you guys back the smile you crave, the thing that unlocks what's inside you, what I can't give you back is the years you lost. And that still upsets me to this day. You should have been told a lot sooner, Michelle, what was possible. You should have been told this, but you weren't. You should have been told. Yeah. You should have been informed. He should have been informed. He kept going every couple of months.
Yeah, I haven't been told about anything like this. So.
Okay, it's not hard. Just like you found what was technologically possible online. Yeah. Everybody can find what's technologically possible online, but there are a line of professionals in the way. And again, I don't want to get into a fight with my profession. That's not what this is about at all. But there is an education piece, you know, and this thing, at least informing people. And it's a weak excuse to me. I've heard this nonsense before. Oh, well, the NHS doesn't provide it. So what? So if the NHS didn't provide cancer care, would you not inform people that cancer care is available? No. Right, okay. And that's what it's for, right? That's what the Department of Health, it's one of its jobs, isn't it? To let people know what is possible, even if they're not going to pay for it. See, you've started me off now.
Yeah, don't.
Yes, I'm just going to get really pissed off again. Right. Okay.
Tell us about one thing. Tell us about cleansing gap versus flush prosthetics.
Cleansing gap as opposed to no cleansing gap. Yeah. Here is a common delusion.
Because that's what, when you go anywhere, everybody does and say it has to be flush. Yeah, and I know that's not true.
Bacteria, which is the harmful stuff, particularly what we call anaerobic bacteria, which is the bacteria that thrives in an environment with no oxygen in it, is the stuff that buggers you up. Now, this absolute delusion that if it's flush against the gum, you haven't got mega cities of bacteria under there is just delusional crap. You understand? So they're all happily festering away in there. You can't feel it, but they're definitely there. And I'll tell you when you're going to find out. One day you're going to be brushing and your entire prosthesis and the implants is just going to come out in your hand. Do you have any idea how many of these patients I have seen and had to correct over the years? Hundreds. All got flush against the gum, and now there's nothing against the gum. In fact, there's nothing. Everything's out in the hand. That is why. Now, I'm a guy who's been doing this day in, day out. I'm not listening to some garbage from somebody who hasn't done it as much as I have going, I don't like it. Yeah, don't come here then. If you're not going to stick to my rule, which is I only want to do this for you once in a lifetime, go bugger off somewhere else.
So did you do the cleansing gap even at Eva?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Okay, it's documented. It is written in the clinic. I don't get my opinions from Instagram or Facebook, right? I read these things called clinical papers, which you can get on ChatGPT and Google it, and you go, tell me the importance of having a cleansable gap underneath a full jaw prosthetic. Just type that in and see what the answer is. And then you decide. Professor Brannemark, who is the godfather of implants, has always insisted that it must be there. Always. Now, he is the guy who for 20 odd years was the only person in the world from 1962 to 1982 as an orthopedic surgeon who rehabilitated full jaws to a fixed state. Without him, you and I would not even be talking. He has the oldest data set on the planet because his institute, even though he's dead, is still going. And it still shows that everyone with a cleansing gap has far less long-term complications than people who have it flush against the gum. This is bullshit. I do this hundreds of times every month. I'm not going to take advice from people who do 3 a year. We're not equals. So I'm sorry. They can publish whatever shit they want. They're just clinically wrong because the facts say otherwise. And I'm only interested in the facts.
Yeah.
The thing is, I couldn't, let me tell you, right? Well, I think we've treated, since I opened this, I think we've treated over 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Up to now, over 5,000 now, right? And that number is just going like this. Do I want a scenario where I start seeing you all between year 5 and year 10 with catastrophic failures? And I mean infection getting into the bone, which is where it goes. It doesn't stay in your gum, it goes into the bone. And here's the frightening thing about implants. Unlike a tooth, which you'll notice the infection earlier, an implant will stay let's say I put a 1 centimeter, a 10 millimeter long implant in. It will stay absolutely stable until it gets to the last millimeter. You know how much bone destruction has happened by the time I know that it's gone? Oh, you are properly screwed then.
So with that said, how come you only do checkups once a year?
Because you only need them once a year in an implant state. Because you've only got 4 connections or 5 connections going through the gum. And those connections are all spaced out a centimeter, which means they can pretty much take care of themselves. Not me saying it, the science says so. And it says that I don't need to see you every 10 minutes. And in fact, if you look at other countries in the world, a standard checkup is once every 12 months. In the UK, it's once every 6 months. How can I say this without being cynical? If a person demonstrates no disease at all, why are we irradiating them 2 or 3 times a year when we should only be irradiating them once a year? Okay, so if they decide tomorrow they're going to do breast screening every week, is everyone going to go every week, or are they going to go, wait a minute, why are we doing it every week? Once a year, we know from our data, is absolutely fine. And that's not a new thing. I've been doing it for 27 years once a year, and you don't miss anything. Implant science is different to tooth science. Your dentist might say, come and see us every 6 months. I don't give a shit why they want to do that. All I know is my patients once a year will stick to that.
Also, I noticed around about December or January on the Facebook page, someone who had had it done, they turned around and said when they looked in the mirror, they didn't feel like the teeth were theirs. Have you come across that? Lots or just...
It's a bit like...
there you mine go. Feel like mine.
But yeah,
they definitely feel like mine.
Of me, but...
We can't account for individual adaptation. Yeah. Over and over and over again on that group, I keep talking about how this is incredibly individual. You understand? This isn't B&Q. You're not going and all buying the same shelf. Yeah. This is an incredibly individual journey emotionally for every single one of you. So Michelle, me giving you something that you've never, ever had anatomically, it is your will that has forced the adaptation, which I didn't touch. I just gave you some hardware and I went, right, bugger off and adapt to it, and you've adapted beautifully. Now I can take another person and do exactly the same thing, and they may adapt sooner or later. One thing is inevitable. It is fixed. It is following anatomical contours. Your brain will adapt. Never ask me when, because I cannot answer that question. No one on earth can answer that question. With you, I saw your plan. Yeah. I had to work with the anatomical limitations that your genetics give me, and I go, inside that envelope, this is what not only fits, but is also going to function predictably and stably every day for a very long time. That's what you've got. It's called, in my world, it's called optimal balance of clinical compromises. Perfect does not exist in corrective surgery. It just, you got to separate the marketing from the clinical facts. The marketing says, pay this amount of money and you will be perfect. That is bullshit. If you're considering this, you probably have a really big problem. Yeah. My solution is not perfect, but it is definitely the best we have clinically on the planet right now. You need to understand it. You need to go on a 2-year journey or however long it takes. And everybody's different. So you, it's 2 weeks, you, it's 2 years. You need to be mentally prepared to want to adapt to your new reality. But we live in a world, this is the other thing I find really odd, right? Because I've got friends of mine who are orthopedic surgeons, right? So apparently when a patient asks them, can you give me any guarantees? They turn around and go, my guarantee is I'm probably going to have to do this again in 10 years' time. And they go, okay.
That's why they won't give me a hip replacement at the moment.
Because
a knee replacement.
Because of the
it's
risk
only going to last 10 years.
But you see, again, this is the reality of corrective surgery. There is no such thing as perfect. What really winds me up is when I keep seeing this marketing, which is like, pay this amount of money, you'll be amazing. This is horseshit. This is not clinical. It's not commodity. We are having to do this for clinical reasons that will definitely improve your physical well-being, mental well-being, emotional well-being. We have to go through that entire checklist of things. We have to know that there's going to be an improvement in this patient on all these different levels. But I'm not promising anyone they're going to be 21 again.
I wish.
Yeah, but because I can't, because it would just be a lie. Yeah. This is the best we have.
Calling marketing garbage.
I'm sorry. Good.
That's what
Gordon,
it is.
you help me educate Gordon. Yeah. Stop getting on your high horse. It's not marketing garbage. We don't market. We educate
No,
people.
we us, but you can see marketing garbage everywhere.
And that's the white noise. I think somebody again posted about the whole zirconia thing.
I think it was the whole Facebook page that got me to eventually come to 21D. Was that community?
Okay, don't hear it from me. Hear it from the thousands of people who've already been through it. Yeah, don't ask me. Amazing. There they are. Ask them. Yeah. You know, I was speaking to Christine. We all know Christine. I was speaking to Christine earlier on the phone, just, you know, about other stuff. And I get blamed for everything, you know. She says, Vijay, you know, I'm dreaming about this job while I'm asleep. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. This conversation suddenly got very, I said, Christine, you've only been here 6 months. And she goes, it just doesn't feel like a job. I said, why? And she went, because I get to talk to people and I relate to their sadness and I know the happiness that's coming. I'm just trying to guide them to that. And it doesn't feel like a job to me. And I said, why is that weird? And she went, all my other jobs have felt like jobs, not this one. And I was like, okay, so this conversation is getting very surreal. What are you actually trying to tell me? She said, I love this job. I said, you could have just said that and hung up. That would have been enough.
There's no judgment or anything about why you've came to see us. And that's a benefit as well, that you don't judge why I've got no teeth.
But it's the...
And
okay, but as a medical professional, we're not supposed to judge why somebody's got an illness. We're supposed to find out why, but we're not there to judge them. We're there to go, can we help you? Can we find a solution that is right for you? My first point is, right, if I can fix this person now, what are the chances that they're going to stay this way the whole life? That's it. Because if I get it into my head that if I fix this and it's going to fall to bits in 5 years, I'm sorry, there might be some people watching who I've rejected. It will be one of the reasons will be I cannot guarantee the predictability. And if I cannot guarantee the predictability, we're going to do one of two things. I'm either going to go no, or I'm going to go wait, because the way I've seen technology develop over 27 years, something's coming. I just don't know when. It could be next month. I have no idea.
You gave me inspiration with that 84-year-old story, because I was thinking if I got 30 years, I'll be 87. But now I want to get to 100 and still be there.
My oldest patient now is 104 years old, right? Wow. Now, this guy must have treated him, what, 16 years ago? Right. This is the conversation. This is how weird the conversation gets. Hey, Victor, how's things? Great, Vijay. I'm going salsa dancing on Tuesday. He's got his Zimmer frame in the corner, right? I'm going salsa dancing on Tuesday. I said, all right, Victor, why are you going salsa dancing? He goes, I need a woman. I don't like sleeping by myself. And I'm like, dude, you are 104 years old. And he said, I'm 21 in my mind. I said, right, okay. So, you know, when you lot...
at any age, though, aren't they?
Yeah, but, you know, when you say stuff to me like, oh, it's another 30 years. If Victor is anything to go by, it's a lot more than 30 years. It's not 30 years. Not if you got his spirit. And he says to me, he describes it as, I've always had the twinkle in my eye. I just didn't have the smile to match it. You gave it back to me, and now I've got both, which means I'm unstoppable.
Well, Dick Van Dyke's my hero.
Well, there you go, 100. Yeah, there you go.
Because he keeps himself young. And
yeah.
So but I don't believe I'm 57. I only think I'm 25.
I want to ask you something, Michelle. Tell me the things you do now that you would never, ever have done 10 weeks ago.
Well, apart from this face on for any videos, I would do videos of the dogs and stuff, but I'd always be behind the camera. It's just little things in my life, like going for appointments. Like I had to go to the garage, somebody rear-ended me, and just going down and speaking to people that I needed to speak to and not feel judged, and just, you know, to be myself and smile. I don't think my teeth never really held me back as such, but I'm just a lot more confident now just to do anything that I want, really.
Well, I don't want to embarrass you, but I definitely noticed the haircut change.
It isn't.
She said she's going to hairdressers on Thursday before.
Yeah, but you know what? You know the initial photos.
Oh no, I had a fringe, but that was more to do with the lines.
But I noticed, me personally, looking and watching your journey, I noticed a completely different energy, which I was so delighted to see.
There is a lot of different energy, for sure.
But I
do think it's always there, but it was just very contained.
And now it's out.
Yeah. Now it's out.
Now it's out. You probably created a monster.
Michelle, are you the lady that does the sausage sandwich videos?
Ah, Shall I try to do it now?
Yes, do it. Do it now.
Okay. I have to think about it a little bit first. Hang on. So the trick with this is to go slowly and to breathe and not to rush. Okay. She sells seashells and sausage sandwiches on the seashore. That was good.
Well done.
Very good.
You see, if everybody did a
She
bit of
sells seashells and sausage sandwiches on the seashore.
this. So all of you lot that are watching, that are going, oh, I'm speaking, do that. I'm speaking funny. Do what Michelle did. Obviously, don't do it in public. You'll get locked up, right? Just do it behind closed doors or something. But this bit, this is so. Your daughter talked about this.
Exercises.
Allegra's video is
Every
up.
day.
Those
Actually, I
facial.
find I'm singing along to songs in the car now.
Great.
I don't care what people think about me when I'm singing.
Great.
So,
That's what we want. This is that combination of positivity and muscle training and all kinds of stuff, all happening. I love this.
I mean, coming home on the next morning, I left at 5 from the hotel because I wanted to be able to drive back like with no traffic.
That is hardcore.
And every single road sign I went by, I read it out. So if you're going south, Stoke-on-Trent and Stafford, like there's a lot of those. And it was so hard to say it at the start, but it was only me in the van. It didn't matter. It was like Stoke-on-Trent, Stafford, and if I couldn't say it, I just repeated it, and I just repeated it and repeated it until I could say it. But what I didn't do, I didn't repeat it incorrectly. So I wouldn't let myself say it wrongly. I sort of, if I could feel it was wrong, I would just say it again until I could say it. And then I think by the time I got home, I could say Stafford and Stoke-on-Trent absolutely fine.
But this isn't weird because when you have a hip replacement, you have physiotherapy. You are taught how to move muscles again. Well, the physiotherapy for the mouth happens to be exactly what you did. She sells seashells on the seashore. That is the physiotherapy.
don't forget the sausage sandwiches.
And the sausage sandwich. Let's not forget about it. You're quite right.
Sausage sandwich is really hard to say.
Didn't do too bad on it for 20 days.
Considering, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but you know what? I broke my own rule with you. So my rule with you is I looked at normally what I do when I'm looking at planning in complex cases in particular, I'm looking at the cheekbones. Okay. So everybody thinks I'm staring at the teeth. I'm not. I'm looking at your cheekbones. I'm looking at your eye sockets and I'm looking at how far out your cheekbones are. And I'm sort of creating this map inside my head of where I think this new smile can sit. Because this is sort of like, if we consider the cheekbones and the side muscles as like drapes, we sort of get an idea as to how far these drapes can actually go. And I pushed yours, Michelle, to the absolute limit. The absolute. I just went.
They look great.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought, I've got to give this woman that smile. I know what was in your head. I knew exactly what you wanted when I read your notes. And I thought, you're pushing it, VJ. And I just went, no, you know what? It'll work, this. But the factor, the X factor is you. The X factor is your will. It is your absolute determination to adapt to the new you. And I think for everybody watching, don't forget that bit of you investing in adapting to the new you. You've been through it. You've definitely been through it. You're still going through it. I know there's still more to come. There's more to come out in terms of confidence in both of you. I mean, Christ, I don't know how we're going to move your level of confidence. It's already like sky high.
Everybody was just telling me to shut up. I don't shut up anyway, but everybody will be sick of hearing about them, I'm sure.
Yeah, but maybe it's just a question of it's all been bottled up for so long and now it's like,
yeah.
Boom, here you go.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I feel there's like a lot to come out. And every photo, I'm like, well, it's got to be £1 a smile per photo, right? I've got to get my money back.
Yeah, but you see, that is the bit that keeps bringing me back to this. What I missed when I retired was I just stopped hearing the stories that I loved so much, stopped watching the changes that I love. I just missed it.
So you came back?
I had to. I couldn't. I was beginning to annoy my mum. I was winding. She in a very polite way said, "Son, bugger off." right? Go do something useful. You're really getting on my nerves, right? I can cook for myself, right? I'm old, not dead. So bugger off, go away, right? And I had to, and it was great. I'm really glad because I miss this. I miss the joy of it all. I miss the on the other side. I miss the journey of, oh, I feel like shit today. Oh, I feel great tomorrow. Oh, I feel like I miss all of it. It's part and parcel of what we do. And the ability, one thing where I think all of us here are really lucky, we get to put a smile on people's faces. That's what we get to do. We get to create happiness, mojo, as I like to call it. Is your mojo back?
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
So the mojo level is going up. What about yours, Michelle? Is the mojo?
Oh, I'm good, and I smile at everybody. I smile at strangers when they let me pull out on the road. I smile at them and I flash my teeth at them, and they smile back.
I do,
and I
do
do that every day.
smile if somebody smiles at me now.
Yeah, but again,
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this because I'm cynical and I'm old, right? But the world needs more of this. The world needs more people smiling at each other. We'd have less garbage going on, I think.
So it was like, I've just been on a cruise to South America, which they class it as fared well. But they brought in different ports all these people, troops, dance troops, and they were all laughing and joking and dancing and singing and smiling because of music and dance. And that's what I think the world needs more: singing, dancing, and music.
Yep.
Yeah, but
And
it would,
everyone.
but it would help, in my view, if there wasn't a billion people who are trapped behind failing dentition, who all want to smile. Every child, you don't teach a child how to smile, it just smiles. So we know it's genetically hardwired into all of us. We're not designed to be conscious of not smiling. We're all designed to do that. And I just hate it when it goes from people. And I love the magic of putting it back and seeing this radiance beaming straight back at me, or you sitting here talking to me and giving me a big grin and having a laugh and a joke. And what I like to call normal, just back to normal. And we can all just get on with our lives and do stuff.
Well, is there any questions on Facebook?
There is one. Are we having any improvements regarding GARD causing that lump? That's the question.
I was lucky I didn't get Mr. Lumpy.
Okay. I know
Me too.
I've reduced the instance of it in a lot of patients with the improvements I've already put in. I want to improve it. I just wish the chip manufacturers, like NVIDIA, you know, that tiny little company, would just get on with making better chips for me. But I'm not in control of that, you know, because everything I do runs on calculations. And if I have better calculations, I can create better anatomical guides. At this stage, this is the best I can do with the technology I have. So whoever asked that question, trust me, I'm not doing this to you on purpose. I have to produce the guide in a way where that surgery is so precise at delivery that we never do the surgery again. Okay, you're going to have Mr. Lumpy for a bit. But don't forget the context of where you started. And I'm trying to engineer you lot for life here. It's a big deal. It's like I need to build this once and never do it again. That would be great for all of us. So I hope that answers their question.
Thank you. I just want to read something from Philip Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah, it says, not only has 21D changed my life for the future, you've turned me into a comedy novelist. How good is that?
Oh, this is Pip.
Yeah.
Pip,
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
one of your biggest fans, Pip. Never stop writing that stuff, right? I'm getting worried because you're going to go to sign off and you're going to stop, and that's going to upset me. I want you to keep writing, Pip, okay? Definitely don't stop writing. Sorry, go on. So you are a brilliant comedy novelist. Brilliant. I mean, you are a genius. I'm telling you, I read your stuff and it lifts me. I've heard you've read his stuff.
Yeah,
haven't
I've
you?
read his stuff.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
This is what never stop, Pip. Never ever stop. Okay. That was brilliant. So look, thank you both very, very much for coming on and sharing this. and I hope this has been beneficial to you.
Yeah.
You know, you telling me about how you felt and how you feel now, man, this is why I do this job. You know, people think I'm weird. Yeah, all right, get over it. I'm weird, right? But I get a buzz out of this. Some people like certain. I get a buzz out of being able to get you guys to where you are now, and to be able. You said this, Michelle. You said you would never, ever, ever do a YouTube video, and
No,
look
never.
at you now. Look at you now, just natural, just beautifully articulating your truth. I love it.
I wouldn't have dreamed of doing it a year ago. So,
Well, you can't say that no more.
No.
We're on the other side now.
but I thought, because I've seen on Facebook a lot of people talking about mental health on the Facebook page, that it's important, because I was brought up in a generation that told me men don't cry, men don't show emotions. But like I said, that song, because Jelly Roll is this 6'1" guy, tattoos all over his face, all over his body. He's been to prison, and there he is singing about his problems. And if he can do it, any man or anyone out there can go and talk. Talking is the most important thing, I think.
As a clinical professional, there are certain things that you do not get prepared for when you go to medical school or dental school or whatever it is. One of the earliest memories I have in doing this was a patient who came to see me, and very quiet. I went about, it's all, you know, one-word answers, hello, hi, that kind of stuff. I took the scans. I hadn't even said anything. I'd sort of looked at the scans, but I hadn't had time to analyze it or anything. And this person just grabbed me by the hand and said, if you don't help me, I'm going to try and kill myself again. And, you know, I just froze, because this person had said nothing. And I just turned to this person and I went, what, because of this? And this person said to me, my life's a living hell. And I don't want to continue if you can't fix this. Now, I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't prepared to hear this. And I remember going home, I don't even know how I got home, because all I could think about was what this person had said to me. Okay, I found them a solution, and I'm glad to say I still see this person now. And we've never had that conversation ever again. It's like it never happened, but we both know it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so when you talk about mental health, I get it.
Yeah. But even 2 years ago, I would never have talked to it. That's all I went to see a counsellor. That's all I started going to Andy's Man Club to begin with. And it was them who told me that maybe you need more. So I would give a shout out to Andy's Man Club as well.
Good. You see, and that's the other thing about that community.
Yeah.
I want people to feel safe about speaking openly about things like this, because it's all connected. How you feel about you is connected to your well-being so intimately, and it shouldn't be a social scourge, as you called it. A social scourge. I mean, this is 2026. We're not living in the bloody Middle Ages. We know that human beings are living for longer than they've ever lived before. We know we need to replace bits, and it's not people's fault. And even if it is their fault, everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone deserves a second chance. Don't judge. Don't just say, I can fix this, I can't fix this. That's it. Keep it binary, keep it simple.
I think for me, the actual reaching out initially was the hardest.
Yeah.
To be like that vulnerable. And I am a crier, but I have never cried as much as I've cried over this. So
Really?
I mean, it's good to do brave stuff, isn't it? It's good to be vulnerable, and it's good to push yourself and do brave things. That's good for your soul.
Yeah, but it's incredibly human. We wouldn't be human.
Yeah, absolutely. We are humans.
Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't be human if we weren't vulnerable, if we weren't brave from time to time. Children express all these emotions freely and beautifully. Something gets lost in adulthood, where apparently you're not supposed to be what you were absolutely programmed to be at birth, which is human. And that's the key to this. As a medical professional, it's not a function. We're not performing a function. You're not going to B&Q and saying, can I have that shelf? And me going, yeah, here's the box. But it's not that. It is so much more connected than that. We know that our responsibility is not to your teeth. We know our responsibility is to you as a whole. And we see that unravel through this journey. That's why we don't call it a treatment. There is a treatment element to it, but it is a journey leading to a solution that solves a problem that can't actually be, you can measure things like how healthy is the gum, but I can't measure how good you feel about you, but I can see how good you feel about you. I can see how good you feel about you. I can't measure it, but do you have to measure everything? Or is it just enough that you can see that this person is in a better place? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would like to apologise to Pip as well, because I dragged the mood down after. We should have ended there.
No, hey,
He
Pip.
is hilarious.
Pip, keep doing your comedy stuff, okay? Don't worry about Mike, okay?
Oh, I'm in
Pip
a
did a
better
brilliant
place now.
post
I
today
am
about
in a better
singing,
place now.
to help your speech. It was a really good post.
It was. That was brilliant.
It was
I
really
read that
good.
today, and I love the playlist. The playlist is
Yeah,
great.
the playlist.
So
I was hoping when I had my new teeth that I'd be able to sing, but I can't. I can whistle
No,
well,
neither
but I
can I.
can't sing.
yet,
I still can't sing.
Come on, give it a chance. Yet.
My wife's been
Yet.
complaining for 30 years that I'm tone deaf, and I still sing, and I don't care that it drives her mad.
Well, would she recognize you if you didn't annoy her with the singing?
Probably not.
Exactly.
She says I'm even worse now, so.
But she's still there. She hasn't left.
No.
So that's a good sign.
It's the same as me. She doesn't want to start again.
I think we've run
Right,
out of
yeah.
time. Thank you both
Done.
very much. Michelle, a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Nice
Hey,
meeting you face to face.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Bye.
And Mike, thank
Nice
you
to
very
meet
much.
you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
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 That was fantastic.